Alright guys, today I'm going to talk about how to break cameras in Rebirth the right way, or just going over other ways that people break cameras and then kind of breaking it down how they do it in a specific way to be able to get the kill. So I'm going to show you examples from other people, and then I'm going to kind of do it in game to kind of show you how that would look like yourself. So I just searched up breaking cameras in Rebirth. This guy looks kind of cool, Ace the Chosen One. I have no idea who he is, but I guess we're going to see a little bit of that. And of course this music is copyrighted, so I'm going to mute it out. But at least we're still going to be able to spectate what he does right here. So okay, so let me just let him get his clip real quick. He got a 2-kill clip right there, and pretty much how he took the situation on was, I don't know if he heard someone there or if he was just checking there, because that's a common spot that a lot of people go in. He looks to the right here, sees a guy. And as I talked before about how doing the thing where you look a tiny bit and then look away, you can kind of gather information on where people are without shooting at them, because that would put you at a disadvantage. So again, you look at what he does here, right? He doesn't aim and look at the person. He like looks really fast and looks away so that he can be able to get that knowledge. And he gets it. He's like, okay, there's a guy right there. I'm gonna run over here. And as he's running over here, he's using a footstep bait. He's pretending like, okay, I'm gonna run in this direction so that I can force you to come outward. He kind of waits to hear that person coming outward right behind him, and then that is when he goes around and kills him right there. So he hears him, pushes over here, and as that guy is in that animation of looking up, he's able to sneak right behind him and shoot at his back while he still has no awareness of where the enemy is. And he was able to down him too right here without taking any damage at all. So this is really important for camera breaks and other stuff like that. When you really get your opponents like that, you can actually barely take any damage at all if you do it correctly. And then as he comes up to you, he also sees the shadow of somebody else. So he goes right here and then immediately jumps out. This is a camera break too, because I don't know what the enemy was thinking, but sometimes if you go into a corner, let me go back a little bit more. So this is the first camera break, brace right there. When you go back in the corner, for some reason they just have their aim assist locked on to right where the opponent left off. So he's now looking at the wall, and he's not going to get any aim assist, because if you're ADS, I talked about that before, and you're not aiming down sights, you're going to get less aim assist than if you're hip firing. So that guy's ADSing, he's not hip firing, and that allows this guy to break his camera because that ADS is not picking up any aim assist while he's jumping across the screen right there. So that's a really good move by him. Let's see what he does right here. Wow. Okay, so I don't even know if he got the full kills, but let's just go over how he broke their cameras in the first place. So we see a lot of people are here, and of course he's at lower health too. So as the people are going to be looking at him, he has to be able to dodge their bullets in time for him to be able to get an opening. So every single time you're trying to break cameras and stuff, usually when people do it, they're at a disadvantage when they do it. You breaking a camera doesn't mean you have the advantage. It's you're at a disadvantage, and you're trying to get the opponent off guard in order to push and catch them when they're off guard. So he sees multiples. He's going over here. He's like, okay, they're pushing. Actually, let me go back a little bit more. Yeah, right here, he's getting shot at. He looks real quick, sees like 1, 2 of them, maybe 3, hides behind here, and as he cuts off this line of sight, they know that his last position's over here, so they're gonna slide in. He shoots them a little bit, able to get that kill too. It's kind of cool that he was able to get that kill right there, because that's a very tight angle. So as they're doing that movement, I tell you guys not to slide too much when you're out of cover and then pop up, because in this guy's situation, he's sliding with no cover, and while he's popping up, he's already getting shot in the first place. He's not predicting that the enemy is going to be right here. So while he's doing that move, this guy, I'll just call him Ace, this guy Ace is already predicting that, and he's having his crosshair ready so that he can be able to shoot him at any time. So he downs him here, and then he immediately doesn't finish, because he not only that he shot at his teammates to down him, but he also used it as a bait too, because the last known position is going to be in that little corner. So if his last known position is right there and an enemy is approaching, he's going to quickly change positions and then be able to kill the guy right here. And then as soon as he does that, he realizes that he changed the position to the point where the enemy can still recover. So if he can recover, then he's going to take the gamble and go back into cover, because realistically he's not going to be able to hit all his shots while he's one shot right here. So he stims, hides behind the cover, and then goes behind the cover again, it's important, like I said, to keep breaking that line of sight, keep getting that last known position, because even if he knows exactly where he is right here, he has no idea when he's going to come out of that position. So he comes out and then immediately switches directions, and then that is when he catches him off guard, because he keeps breaking that line of fire. And I talked about in the last clip that he had, the ADS, right? The ADS has a lot less aim assist than the hip fire, so he's ADSing right here. The ace is able to slide right under him, and he gets the kill right there. So that's how that camera broke happened. We're probably gonna look at one more, and then I'm gonna go in game and kind of show you the ways that you can camera break, kind of like these people are doing right here. That was nice. Is that the end of the clip? I don't think it is. I think that's someone else. That was a long, wow. That was really bad. We're definitely gonna go over this one. Alright, so right here, right? He pops up. I guess he hears someone there, or he's just centering there. Shoots at the person. I think he meant to kill him here. I don't think he meant to go back into cover, because realistically he's one more bullet, so we can just eagle that. But instead he goes back into cover, and then he re-challenges him because he has no health and he can't really do anything. So he's re-getting his peeker's advantage right there, and then he's able to kill him while he just has no idea where to go. Here's somebody drop down, so he's able to shoot at him right here. I think that's just like the enemy just being really bad, because realistically, if you're a good player, you should be able to kill Ace right here. He does do like a tiny bit of jump to the point where the enemy's shooting over there, but it's not super impactful to the point where if that person has like a really good setup, he's on PC and everything, he should not be able to miss all those shots. But he does do a tiny bit of jump in the air, kind of like a mini bunny hop while he's standing still, to be able to change his last known position really quick. Even though the enemy can still see him, it's enough to throw off his crosshair to the point where he's able to break his camera and kill him. Now, as far as the last guy, he sees him on the map, so it's kind of easy because it's anticipated to where the guy's right here. He right here, let me see. He like slides to the right, and then he sees that the guy's shooting right there, so immediately slides back in and then comes back out, and he uses the stim to ego chow. So when breaking cameras too, it's really important to change positions. I also talked about before how if you're centering, you can't really center and break cameras at the same exact time. Those are two different things, because when you're centering, you're going to be able to look at the person, shoot at him as soon as the crosshair and the person is visible. But as you're breaking cameras, you're kind of putting down your centering and saying, okay, I'm going to try my best to dodge all these bullets so that I can be able to shoot that person. So doing these camera breaks is a lot more dangerous and risky, but I guess it makes better content and it is more satisfying for people. Doing them at specific times in order to get a competitive advantage is pretty situational, and you do got to know when to do them at the right time. But for the most part, when you're versing really good players too, it isn't going to work all the time. So here he's kind of, again, baiting him, waiting for him to do that jump. As he does the jump, he slides behind him. And then here he's kind of messing with him. So again, how we were talking about baiting other people, he just knows that he got his camera broken. So as he's going to try to recover from behind, he's going to push forward. See, so now as he recovers from behind, he pushes forward again. As he looks to the right, he pushes over here. So he's just pushing places, and this guy is so delayed that he's not going to know where to shoot. Most likely he is on some type of console or TV or something, but he has no idea where Ace is going to be at because he's quickly changing positions over and over, and his goal is to look at the person's back. And then eventually it gets so bad to the point where he can get a finisher off that too. So that is also just a really bad player at the same time, but he still knows how to break the camera pretty easily. Alright, so kind of how the whole baiting aspect, like I was talking about, let's just say there's a guy like somewhere over here. The goal is to kind of get the person to chase you, and then as they're chasing you right over there, you pop up over here. You kind of have the audio cues too to be able to hear that person, and as you're leading them with your footsteps, you kind of have to stop at one point, because when you do like the little bit of stop too, it kind of it doesn't make them think that you're coming backwards, or it makes them think that your footsteps are slowly fading away. And as it's fading away, then that is when you can pop back out like this and break their camera. It's also very important too when you're breaking cameras that you do it very straightforward and lateral. So if a guy is coming around here, right, and is chasing you, if you go straight this way, then you're gonna break his camera so much easier than pushing him this way, because as he's turning into here, you're turning over here and you're gonna be right behind him. If you push behind him, I mean, yeah, you can still be able to get a really good advantage on him, but you have to rely on him turning around like this. If you're over here and he turns around like this, he's done. You're gonna have a better camera break that way. But let's just say he goes like this and then you shoot and he goes like that, you're gonna be able to get snapped on a lot faster than if you go directly behind him. So if you go directly behind him when you're doing camera breaks, then you're gonna have that 50-50% chance on either side to be able to get to you, instead of relying on him to have a 25% chance or 25% increase in the speed going this way, then the 75% going all the way around like that. Another thing too is sometimes I don't camera break immediately, especially if it's a really good player. I get chased for a long time and make sure that like I'm almost dead. So if I'm one shot, realistically ego challenging or doing that camera break is really not smart, because if you do that and you get shot once, you are dead. So if I'm leading him on and getting shot multiple times and then go behind something and then I do a break camera like that, a slide cancel out or some type of bunny hop, just break his camera completely, then I'm going to be able to get him really bad, because he's really going to be pushing me and he's going to have that mindset of, oh, he's one shot, so I'm going to keep pushing him and try to kill him. So the camera breaking solely relies on the other person and what their decisions are going to make. You are pretty much predicting what they're going to be thinking at the moment based on the things you do and the most probable solution to whatever they're gonna be able to attack you with. So again, like I said, if he's shooting at you and he's chasing you, there's a really high chance that he's gonna be able to look over here, slide cancel over here, and you're gonna jump behind him and kill him. It's not guaranteed, because he can be like, oh, he's trying to bait me, I'm gonna stand right here, he bunny hops, tries to bait my camera, and then I can shoot him out here. But camera breaking solely relies on the enemy being able to make certain decisions that you're predicting, and that's why it's always a gamble and it's always a hard thing to do. So if you do try to break cameras and do things like that in Rebirth, you always gotta do it with caution, and you always gotta risk everything and know that you're risking everything doing it, and not thinking that it's going to give you some type of advantage immediately if the enemy predicts your move. And another thing with that too is that, like, let's just say real quick, if the enemy predicts that I'm going to go out like this, I can still kill the enemy really good if I'm centered onto his body and kill him, because I would have a better gun and I would be able to have better centering than he was. But every single time you do a camera break and stuff like that, it's always a gamble. It's always putting yourself at a disadvantage first to be able to get a better advantage later in the middle of a gunfight. And that's why camera breaks are so hard to do, because they're not always guaranteed.